My people, welcome back to Eke React. I'm back with another trending topic in Nigeria. Wetin dey sup for Nigerian politics again? My people, e be like say wahala no dey finish. Former Transport Minister Rotimi Amaechi don yarn say our politicians dey steal and even high people just to hold on to power. He say dem no dey gree leave power by themselves, but e no end there. So on top another level, Atiku-Abubakar don drag Tinubu government say dem dey use harassment and intimidation to shut up opposition people. He mention say dem don arrest Sowore and Prof Usman Yusuf just because dem talk wetin dem no like. So na the matter we go break down like this. So for this video also, Rotimi Amaechi tell Atiku face to face, reminding him that nobody in Nigeria is going to ever give him power. So what do you guys think about this statement on the comment section below? I go like hear what you wanna think on that particular statement on the comments below. So Atiku also replied, reminding Rotimi Amaechi that Peter Odili, they also hire crowd during the time he was governor in Port Harcourt. So my people, make I know una opinion concerning this particular news on the comment section. So make I leave una with the video, and you guys will also hear reactions from Nigeria concerning what is going on. So make I around and watch the video. Make sure you like, subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell so that you don't go miss any of our updates.
All right. We'll take another story now. More videos have emerged from the Meeting Tax Symposium on Strengthening Democracy in Nigeria, which had in attendance several Nigerian stakeholders, including Atiku-Abubakar and El-Rufai. Well, in this video, Rotimi Amaechi, a former transport minister, criticized political power struggles, accusing leaders, including President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of using unethical tactics to stay in power. Atiku-Abubakar, in response, echoed Amaechi's comments by sharing a personal experience on the dynamics of crowd mobilization. Let's take a look.
Nobody has power and will give it to you. Nobody, not even me.
Yes, you do.
If you want a pastor as president, can't get one. The politician is there in Nigeria to steal, to maim, to kill, to remain in power. If you think Tinubu will give it to you, you are wasting your time. So when we speak, we forget history. And the final example is when we are pursuing, the APC was registered, and I was scared that, look, they may rig us out. So I got the party to agree that we will carry out a demonstration. We agreed that we will carry out a demonstration. We assembled at that parade ground, Eagle Square. We released some money to go and bring women and all that. See the women gathered. Guess what they were wearing? Jonathan for president. God bless you.
That is borrowed from Rivers. Because when Odili was in office as a governor, we went on a rally. The entire stadium was filled to capacity. But before we could finish the rally, everybody had left. We were left alone. Then I asked what happened. He said they were paid for only 2 hours.
Rufai, I want to use your word, Nigeria, now cruise. I mean, this is the political system. Fabi, I'd like your comment, but let me take these tweets first. This is from Eku, who wrote, Rotimi Amaechi's frustration may resonate with many, but we must remember that he, like others, has been part of the very system that has kept Nigerians in this struggle. When he claims politicians are there to steal, kill, and destroy, he's describing a system he himself was deeply entrenched in during his tenure. What did he actually do for the people of Nigeria and his state? What real progress was made under his leadership? If he truly believes in change, why didn't he deliver it when he had the power to do so? Another Twitter user, High Chief, wrote, Rotimi Amaechi has been consistent about Nigerians being too afraid to have a face-off with our politicians. He has always said that the day we all rise, that's the day we'll get our country back. And I guess this person went further to talk about how we miss our chances in this country. Go ahead with selecting great leaders.
Okay, so I think ultimately it's unfair that a politician or someone who has left power can now not criticize, because then people can say, well, you, as we've heard in those tweets, well, you were also a part of that system, but I would like to hear if he had in fact stolen or killed anybody. That's what I'd like to hear, if that's really the conversation here. That being said, the thing that jumped out at me is that he's speaking very, very serious about very serious things. I didn't like the fact that people were laughing. I know they weren't laughing at him, they're just laughing at, as you guys say, Nigeria being a cruise, but this is very, very sad and a very serious situation here. But yes, he is a politician who has had extensive power at the state and at the federal level. And I think there is still some legitimate questions that can be raised. Would you say this if you were still in power? Would you have this criticism about the state of politics in Nigeria if you still were at the helm of power as you had previously? But that doesn't mean that the points that he's making is invalid, because he's making very valid points here, but sometimes the messenger can be crowded, the message can be overshadowed by the messenger. So
yeah, absolutely. But before I come to both of you, I'd like to tie in this other story. Well, in another development, Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has reacted to the arrest of Professor Usman Yusuf, a former Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, who was arrested on Wednesday by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for alleged corruption involving budget inflation to the tune of 3.7 billion naira and awarding contracts to family members. The Federal Capital Territory High Court in Kuje deferred his arraignment to February 3rd, 2025. Let's take Atiku Abubakar's tweet. Atiku wrote, "When I made the clarion call that Tinubu and the APC were devoting their energies to the systematic harassment, intimidation, and dismantling of the opposition, all in service of their grand design for a one-party autocracy, I became the target of vicious attacks. The arrest and baseless persecution of Omoyele Sowore is the latest chapter in this unrelenting campaign. Now they have seen fit to add Professor Usman Yusuf, an outspoken critic of this administration, into their grim roster. At the pace they are going, it seems they may soon find themselves contending with the incarceration of every one of us." And that is the actual rhetoric, Rufai, online. I'll take a comment following Atiku Abubakar's tweet. Sanusi wrote, "The arrest of Professor Usman Yusuf, a staunch critic of Tinubu, may be viewed as a political witch hunt to silence dissent. Also, recent arrests of figures like Shehu Mahdi, Dele Farotimi, and Omoyele Sowore for government criticism raise concerns about a shrinking democratic space in Nigeria." That was important to highlight that.
No, it does raise a lot of concerns, and it's quite very shocking. We don't even know why he was picked up in the front of his family. For what reason, we don't know. I know prior to this time, there was a
Usman.
Yeah, Usman, talking about Usman. Yeah. Prior to this time, some media I saw online was trying to, as much as possible, to make allusion to the fact that, okay, there was any charge, but that was a while back, so that matter has not been broached again. So why is arrest at this point in time? Also, the case of, Mahdi Shehu, they said because he posted a video that is not true. As the police, and I repeat, as security agencies not said or posted things that are untrue in this country?
That's the question a lot of people are asking.
This high-handedness, and because they said he posted videos that were not true when we were talking about friends trying to set up a base here. In this day and age, yes, you're supposed to verify, but there are people too that post things that it's not, that they've checked up and it's been shown not to be corresponding to what is happening at that point in time.
Yes.
So the DSS is now holding him on. But what about the people that fomented trouble? I keep referring to Lagos here. What about people that threatened ethnic bigotry in Lagos against the Igbos? The DSS, we never heard they picked them up. It was some people that talk about Mama Chukudi. We never hear they picked them up. In fact, the police came out to defend them. So this selective justice, and for what Sowore is saying, he's making a very valid point. They are saying they should have shorty by Palm said government official level 16, level 17 with about 100 million. So that's an invitation to corruption in a country where you pay 70,000 minimum wage.
Correct.
So what is going on here? And concerning also the points of the IG, I think what I'm just saying is, I'm not saying they've not put in the law, they've not fashioned the law in such a way that he can use full tenure of 4 years. But there are also civil service laws that a lot of people expect that once you push up the ladder, other people will come after you. So, and like I asked today, if the IG in good conscience is saying, okay, my tenure is 4 years, if he was in the shoes of the DIGs now, that they think they will naturally fall in line, that's of Frank Obama, a couple of other DIGs.
Yes.
And he saw he's seen because of tenure elongation, is never going to be IG. How would he feel It's just a question of conscience I'm asking.
Yeah.
How would he personally himself feel?
Yeah.
And this is the bone of contention. Although the police forces, the police spokesmen have come out to clarify that his tenure has been elongated.
Yes.
We've taken that.
Correct.
But how will he feel if he's been put in that position?
Correct.
That's just what I'm asking.
Correct. Dr. Mati, Ayo made the point yesterday about the overhaul of the Cybercrime Act. Only yesterday, we took the story of Charles, and Muyiwa Adejobi had said something about, it's because Charles accused the IG of budget padding. And what the comment Rufai made about, have people not lied? People in public office, have they not lied? And have they not posted these things online? If they believe it is a lie, why detain these individuals for so long? Charge them to court and, have a better process instead of it seeming like some sort of clampdown.
Okay, every accused person has the right under the Constitution to fair hearing. Sections 35 and 36. Where you abuse the rights of persons to fair hearing, yes, the public can legitimately complain.
Yes.
As for the issue about the Cybercrime Act, I said, where there have been abuses, you can push for amendment. But to say in an illiterate manner that it should be abolished, that's not how the process works. Because you cannot abolish a law by fiat. It will still have to go through a legislative process. To the main issues this morning. One, Sowore is right. You recall that when you first brought this Sowore matter, I said it was right in the sense that he said, he will not allow the administrative bail by the police. And I quoted Dasuki versus DGSSS, a 2020 case determined by other JCA, in which he stated exactly the same thing that Sowore has repeated. So Sowore must have been properly advised by his lawyers. And I quoted Femi Falana SAN, who had also pushed that line. But the court bail is superior to the administrative bail. No, now he has been given a bail, 10 million and all of that. Well, the matter is before the court, as it were. As for the Attorney General of the Federation, which I keep saying is the only position that is recognized in the Constitution of Nigeria, apart from the position of special advisors, 22 special advisors that the president is constitutionally allowed to employ. Now, what the Attorney General of the Federation, who is the chief law officer of the Federation, is saying is that the position of Egbetokun is lawful and legal. And he based his position on Section 7 sub 6 of the Police Act as amended. What the civil service rule says is that, you must retire if you get to the age of 60 or you have done 35 years in service, whichever comes first. But in this particular case, the chief law officer of the Federation says is validly there in the light of the amendment to Section 7 sub 6 of the Police Act. So it's not a thing to be emotional about. That's the thing about that. And then what was the other story about Professor Usman Yusuf? Professor Usman Yusuf is a noted critic of this government.
Yes.
However, in 2019, he was relieved of his position as the executive secretary of the NHIS, the National Health Insurance Scheme, the professor of hematology and oncology. At that time, the Federal Ministry of Information was investigating something about expenditures of about 919 million. And at the end of it, they recommended to the Buhari administration that he should be relieved of his position. And that was what happened. Now, in 2018, EFCC is saying a petition had been submitted against him in terms of the management of funds. Now, EFCC in 2025 is now going after him. Now, the question has been raised, why now?
Why now?
Well, the thing is that in law, there is no statute of limitation on fraud in Nigeria. So if you commit fraud 20 years ago, they can come out after you in the future. However, the question is about why now, which common sense would raise those questions. Is he now being arrested because he's very critical of government, particularly on the issue of banditry and insurgency and the rights of the people of the North?
Absolutely.
Is he being targeted because he's vocal? But as to the legality of the process,
the EFCC has made it very clear that he'll be arraigned on February 3. What are they accusing him of? Abuse of process, variation of contracts, 4 billion naira that they want explained. We can only insist again, as in the case of Showore, that his rights must be respected. Fair hearing must be respected. And if he's taken to court, all his rights must be respected. He must be given the opportunity to defend himself. As for Atiku Abubakar, saying this is persecution, harassment of Showore and Professor Yusuf, what do you expect the Waziri Adamawa to say? He has to worry more also about the implosion within the PDP.
Within his party. All right.
Because the party is imploding, and some people say Waziri Adamawa is part of the problem. So instead of criticizing the outsider, he should lead the process of removing the log in the eyes of the PDP.
All right. Well said, Dr. Abati. Remove the log in your eye before you go and touch the speck in others. Well,
now, fast forward to 2007. Meanwhile, Nigeria was in debt of over $40 billion. So, 8 years after Obasanjo, Nigeria's debt got cut down. First in debt forgiveness. Then after that, Nigeria's debt was left at $3.5 billion. Nigeria's external reserve, before foreign reserve, when Obasanjo came in, was like practically zero. But when Obasanjo was leaving, that same economy of Nigeria grew by more than 3,000%. But our teachers, school teachers, were buying cars. They were building houses. Primary school teachers, secondary school teachers, in the economy that these guys ran. Nigeria's entire economy was valued at over $400 billion. More jobs were created. I mean, Nigeria wasn't really great. But guess what? The difference of what they did in 8 years, they were so significant that they opened what they called excess crude accounts. Nigerian foreign reserve was over $44 billion when Obasanjo was leaving. They also put over $23 billion in what they called excess crude accounts. This is the money that Yaradua, Jonathan, Bokwari, they came and they plundered everything. And by the time Jonathan was handing the government again to Bokwari 9 years ago, Nigeria economy was valued at $563 billion. MTN was not shutting down. So bro, shut it up. There was no MTN shutting down. In fact, it was the privatization of the telecommunication sector in Nigeria that gave all of you the phones, the internet you have today. Again, I'm not saying they didn't do their own corruption, but at least let's set the record straight. Under them, in 8 years, they started 12 independent power projects in Nigeria that could have generated more than 40,000 megawatts of electricity if Yaradua did not reverse it. He reversed it and started a probe. With the rumor, the lies of the APC, and some of you who continue to repeat that when it is convenient for you. Obasanjo spent $16 billion on electricity when it is not true. It was only Obasanjo in the history of Nigeria, since you come back to this, your democracy, that actually started electricity projects genuinely. And since then, Nigeria has not constructed one single electricity project up to now. Nigeria was generating over 8,000 megawatts of electricity when Obasanjo was living, including when even Jonathan was living. Today, Nigeria is generating paltry 5,000 megawatts of electricity. The excess crude account that Obasanjo left $23 billion in, today it has $0 in it. The foreign reserve of Nigeria that Obasanjo left at over $40 billion, today it has less than $30 billion. Even though Obasanjo, Tifnumbu is lying to you that they have increased your foreign reserve, but they won't show you the book. And of course, you got debt forgiveness. So the woman that you are trying to castigate in your ignorance is a woman that was taken to court by Oshiomole, Isaleko Barack Obama, Fashola, Ubima Judas Iscariot, Amaechi. They sued her that she must share the money in the excess crude accounts. All of it. That there is no point in saving any money when Nigerians are poor. The same characters parading themselves today. So if you want to sound ignorant intentionally, I think you can be forgiven. No, sorry. You shouldn't be forgiven, rather. If you are ignorant, like you are like genuinely stupid, you can be forgiven. But if you are deliberately being, doing this misinformation, for the sake of those who happen to be looking forward or looking up to some of us for the right information, yes, Nigerians are slow. Some Nigerians are slow. Some Nigerians are so lazy to actually find out all this information. None of this information is in secret. Today, when Nigeria was, when the corrupt PDP was handing over power to this APC, 9 years ago, 53 to 55% of Nigeria refinery, the Nigeria refinery was working at over 50% capacity. And Nigeria was paying far, far less on subsidy, and including the cost of petroleum as well, to what you have today. So if you want to look at those who actually did something under the circumstances of that contraption as it is, Okonjo-Iweala's name should not be added to the names of the people you just want to say something about. They are all the same. She is a puppet. Yeah, she may be the puppet of the West, but what she did when she was your minister, coordinating minister under Obasanjo, coordinating minister under Jonathan, there are facts that are public that you can verify. Okay? That you have criminals there right now that have kind of like messed the entire thing up. Doesn't mean that, we should now replace facts with lies just to make us feel good. So if I have a chance of asking you directly, Sheung, I'll be like, what is the strain of the Igbo that you smoked before you went for that broadcast? It can't be a nice one. It probably is the one that replaces facts with fictions and lies in your head. And then you are kind of like possibly blinded by other, personal sentiments that's sort of like a blindsided you. Just for the sake of those who come across your video, I don't know what kind of meltdown you are passing through. And I saw that video. I saw a lot you said, by the way, a lot of your reactions to the Nigerian journalists, because Nigerian journalists are not probing these guys very well. I get that. Just don't try to replace the facts with lies, okay? I mean, for the sake of the younger ones who possibly are going to see us as, the source that they can call reliable source. Unfortunately, that is not reliable. That's total bullshit, right?
Our collective sensibility. The question is this: at least until I left Nigeria, I've not had a case of Muslim. Even this Canada we are living in, they allow us to, despite the fact that the people living here they are not Muslim, they allow us to practice our religion without any discrimination. Some even where we use for Juma service. At least they give us free hand to use the place, and no, they have not heard of any talkers of Nigeria where at least they have a sizable number of our Muslims. Is Nigeria the only country in the world that has a Muslim population? Indonesia has the highest number of Muslims in the world. If you go to Indonesia, it's only one province they practice Sharia there. Why is Nigeria? Why should Nigeria be a different case? What I see there is not the Sharia passage. They just want to foment trouble, something like that. They want to bring everybody under the control of the Fulani
idea of Islam.
Fulani idea or something like that.
Their way, you are not a real Muslim.
Yeah.
They are saying that Muslims are not allowed to practice their religion in Yoruba.
Yes, now that's why I disagree with someone.
When was that?
Yeah, I know that's my argument with our Muslim brothers here. Like they want us to dress like Arab. They want us to speak like Arab. It is when we dress like Arab, speak like Arab, that time they believe we are true Muslim. No. Prophet Muhammad was dressed the way they wanted to because he was Arab.
That's right.
If Prophet Muhammad was born in Yoruba, Prophet Muhammad would have born Agbada. He would have born Abeti Aja. So that's the religion. That's why they just want everybody they want to Fulanize everybody. That's the agenda, and then I think that's what will not work. I'm telling you, even
talking about of Sokoto saying, Yorubas are not tolerant. Like, what are you talking about?
The man is being stupid. What's the meaning of tolerance? Okay, as I'm talking to you now, my elder sister she married a pastor.
See, And
So
you,
that's
Bola Wole,
it.
you are a Muslim, and you are never going to see her
Yes,
sister
now.
and say she's an infidel. Something must happen to her.
No,
You know, like,
the
what the
question,
heck?
now, the issue is this. That there's something I do tell people.
Hmm.
You don't need to fight over religion.
At all.
If you say that it's God, if it is the will of if the will of God for us, for everybody to practice the same religion, He has the power.
And it would have made us.
Then He can make us. So why should we be fighting? We have about more than 2,000 religions in the world.
Before the
So I don't know why
the most
people like fomenting trouble.
Eh?
Then the issue of this politics of between up to 2027, all these jesters calling themselves politicians, something like that.
They want to do coalition.
They are just
rescue us. So they want to rescue us from people like APC from Jonathan. Remember?
You always say something that the best approach towards the 2027 election for them to come together and challenge their rigging tool, which is the Electoral Act, something like that. Then these
like
people
challenge the entire structure of conducting the election, the judiciary and everything. If you read this one, we go burn everywhere down.
Yeah, all of them are not novice in this game.
They are not.
All these all of them are whether one governor or the other. Even Atiku that was a vice president. They know the game. They know how election is being rigged in Nigeria. But you know what? They won't call. All of these Atiku, they are waiting for an opportunity for the turn of the North to grab power. Not that they are interested in getting that power through the lawful votes.
Because they know that the benefit of their people. If all of us are being honest.
Because they know that if the electoral system is reformed and they get to power, because all of them have the same plan of doing what Tinubu is doing when they get to power.
Yep.
They know that if we entrench a good electoral system now, it will affect them if they eventually get the power. So that's why they will not, all of them, or that's why I call them jesters, Atiku and Co. They are just the only person, although he has said that it's not part of them. If it's part of them, the only person I pity is somebody like Peter Obi.
Yep.
They just want to use him.
They don't want him.
Because they know.
Yeah, they don't want to be. They want to be idiots. All these guys, they are obedient, right? That's them they want.
That's it.
If not, Obi, so, they're no center, so, they don't want
them. So Nigeria is a funny place, and then they just and whether they like it or not, they will tear that country apart
by themselves. Exactly.
That's just it.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. We are really enjoying it, sir.
God bless you, sir. And you take it easy, okay? You have a very good night, okay? Yeah, let me say this is my last one because my time is now like really, really far spent, okay? And this is Air Force One. But let me say a very quick thank you to Latu Aruno, milady. God bless you, right? Thank you very much for that super chat and for reaching out as well, right? Thank you, ma'am. Here is Air Force One. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. A wonderful, happy, long life, prosperous birthday to you, sir.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Don't worry. By the time you get to Texas, we'll celebrate it more.
Right. So, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I am looking forward
by the time you get there. Yeah.
Very soon now, we are almost going to be like a neighbor because spending like 2 weeks in Texas, first day, second day, you may still treat me like, and you're a UK. By the third day, we will just meet ourselves in the traffic. I say, where are you going? You're going to the uptown? I said, no, I'm going downtown. That kind of a thing. We'll be jamming ourselves in the galleria or jamming ourselves at the mall. I say, no, why you go with that? I say, how you doing?
Yeah.
We are neighbors now.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun.
Bless you, Baba. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please.
See, Baba, I think I'm at this point, to be honest, I am sick and tired. Terribly sick and tired of these Islamic people. Now, let me be specific.
Right.
The troublemakers one.
Yeah,
okay?
The extremists.
Because,
them.
Yeah, I am sick and tired of them. Now, so let's say they want to practice Sharia law. That Sultan head should have been cut off by now. No, Baba. No.
So it's the leader of all the.
No, sir. I don't give a fuck. Sultan is a human being like me. He is a man like me. He's a human being like me.
Right.
Okay, it's only the professors and the movie for Nigeria. I see him as their leader. or Islamic. If I have to be a Muslim and that is my leader, I will change my religion. Yes, sir, I will change my religion.
That could be blasphemy, though. This one that you are saying right now, if it is in the northern Nigeria, Baba, and I could only measure the arcade that could take come on your head, because right, I mean, like
Baba, that is the more reason why. Baba, that is the more reason why now. Baba, that is the more reason why I say if they are actually practicing their Sharia, the way it's supposed to be, and it's a law for everybody, not for the poor, he should be beheaded by now. Yes. What is our problem? We don't want your Sharia in Yoruba land. Oh, what do you want?
This one is army budgies anyway. APC is attacking Atiku, and they say that Atiku should be above peddling rumors as serial contestant for president's office. APC forced Atiku's allegation against Tinubu. So they are now making fun of Atiku that he's a serial contestant. Anyway, Atiku has been contesting for the office of the president since 1992. I think the people that were born the year he started, they're going to be 23 this year. But anyway, that's not the main gist. The party in the statement noted that Nigeria's democracy is far stronger than Atiku's political ambition. The All Progressive Congress has lambasted former Vice President Atiku Abubakar over his claim that 50 million naira is being paid to members of opposition parties by the ruling party. The APC's positions condemning Atiku was communicated in a press statement signed by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka, on Tuesday. This Felix Moka myself, I don't understand his own. You know, I understand you are secretary, publicity secretary, but guys, they calm down. You get certain things like they send you, people say they send you message as a slave. You don't have to deliver it as a slave. But anyway, let me go back to the party in the statement noted that Nigeria's democracy is far stronger than Atiku's political ambition. It said, as a veteran politician, one would expect Atiku to understand that while democracy may be about winning election, it is more importantly about respecting the will of the electorate and working towards the greater good of all. The statement accused Atiku and other opposition party leaders of lacking ability to lead their parties. They want to lead Africa's most populous country. As discerning citizens, I'm reading it, I'm thinking it's APC that is talking. If not for Nigeria the way Nigeria is, will APC even dare to raise their head? They should be ashamed of themselves, how woefully they have failed. But then anyway, they say talk is cheap. As discerning citizens, Nigerians know better than to be distracted by the false alarm and hollow allegations of desperate politicians whose only goal is to shore up their political relevance in the build-up to 2027 general elections. The statement read, Atiku should focus on rebuilding his party and offering constructive solutions to Nigeria's challenges. The former vice president and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the 2023 presidential election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, like a badly broken record, has continued to point fingers at the All Progressive Congress, APC, for the festering rot in his party and the spectacular dysfunction of opposition parties generally. I don't blame APC. Don't worry. This was how PDP once thought that they can never be in opposition. They were saying they will rule for 50 years. They will do this and do. At the end of the day, what now happened? We will reach there. At the National Conference on Strengthening Democracy in Nigeria, held in Abuja on Monday, January 27, 2025, Atiku warned that the nation's democracy was somewhat imperiled by judicial involvement in electoral matters. Also, without a shred of evidence, Atiku alleged that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was paying certain opposition leaders a whopping 15 million naira each to discombobulate opposition parties in the country. The party alleged that the Olusegun Obasanjo/Atiku administration conducted the worst election in the country. He said it was in the Atiku era as vice president, particularly in 2003 and 2007, that the PDP conducted the worst elections in our political history. We cannot possibly forget how Atiku's PDP heavy-handedly captured most southwest states and vowed to remain in power for 60 years. It was in those same years that Atiku's former boss and then president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, infamously described election as a do-or-die affair in desperate attempt to harness Lagos. If democracy was neither derailed nor endangered in those perilous days, it is now that elections are by far freer, fairer, and more credible that Nigeria risks losing democracy. So the thing is, yes, and this is what I always say, there's nothing that APC is doing that PDP didn't do. It's just that APC are doing it worse. That's why PDP doesn't have the moral justification to speak as they should. And the thing is that election right now has gone back to those days where, like I always say, pre-Yaradua days, where you literally be on the line, you're still queuing, you're still voting, and before you know what's happening, they are actually, they are actually already announcing the results. So it's really bad. We've gotten, to that place. The party also slammed a statement credited to Atiku that judicial involvement in Nigeria's electoral matters is a threat to democracy. And for me, let me just pause from this statement to say it is indeed a threat, because we've gotten to a place whereby it is no longer the mandate of the people. It is now the courts, some 12 people or 4 people or 3 people, whatever people sitting in a room that are deciding who is it that is supposed to be president or not president. We should get to a place whereby judges should not have the capacity to say this person is the one who won the election. What they should have capacity to do is to say something like, oh, election has been done, it wasn't there, go back and have a rerun, go back and redo the election. But wherever you are having judges now begin to want to say this is the person, then it's really not democracy. Let's look at Imo State, where someone who came forth eventually became whom the judiciary imposed. That's wrong. What they should do is to tell the people, INEC, go back and reconduct the election, let people vote again at many times, or you could even say count the election again, count the ballots again, let INEC bring all the ballots out and then recount it and have that. So those are some of the things actually that that should be done. It is a thing of irony that Atiku, who is Nigeria's most prolific electoral litigator, would make such ludicrous claim that judicial involvement in electoral matters is a threat to democracy. His criticism of the court and the electoral process rings hollow, given his long history of using the courts to further his political agenda. It's time for him to take a step back and let the democratic process unfold without his interference. Atiku's allegation that the APC-led administration was paying out 50 million naira to some opposition figures is simply bogus and laughable. Atiku knows that his political desperation is responsible for PDP's catastrophic disintegration. Peddling rumors and unsubstantiated allegations should be beneath anyone in the standing of an elder statesman, former vice president, and a serious contestant for the exalted office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I remember when Doyo Kukwe said that Muhammadu Buhari was how did he put it, is he a serial loser or a serial something like that before the 2015 election. There's a kind of arrogance that gets into people and they just I don't get it. Well, so say the statement also attacked opposition figures like Atiku, Peter Obi, and recently aggrieved leaders like Malam Nasir El-Rufai. Speaking in Abuja on Monday at a national conference on strengthening democracy organized by various civil organizations, Atiku warned that the nation's democracy was at risk of collapse if urgent action wasn't taken. I want to say it here publicly. I know it is a political party leadership in the present opposition, and they told me fatly that this government gives them 50 million naira each. Atiku refused. He questioned the commitment of opposition parties of democracy, saying if we are not careful, we are talking to some of you here, but you're recipients of the 50 million naira from the APC government. Do we really want to fight for democracy? Atiku have noted. But anyway, this is it. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. Bye.